Black Lives Matter. I just seen that. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I just don't understand why it has to be emphasized. Now, if you clicked on this video because you were looking for a reason to be offended, be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. Like, you seen the title of the video, you might have even seen a white man on there. You clicked on the video with the intentions of, oh, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get offended. Hell yeah. Because a majority of us walk around looking for reasons to be offended. It's sad. And you know what? This video ain't got shit to do with Black Lives Matter. I know they do. We all do. And to sit there and just say that, like, really just makes no sense to me. And it only makes sense to you because you pay attention to the fucking lies that are being told and you're believing them. Let me ask you this one question, and you probably can't even see my face, but let me ask you this one question. How much different would your day be, would your life be, if you didn't have the news, if you didn't have social media, you didn't have the newspaper, and you had no means of knowing what was going on around the world, and you only knew what was in front of you? How much different would your life be? They're the cause of all of the bullshit, all the hate in your heart, all the separation, all the judgment, and all the bullshit lies. And you steady, it's like this. You got somebody that you can't stand. You can't stand them. You fucking hate them. But they're the talk. They got all the news. You need to know about somebody, they know it. But you can't stand this person. But you trust them enough to believe what that person says. You trust them enough to believe that what it says, or he says, or she says is truth. How does that make sense? In your mind, how does that make sense? Because most people know that the government does more harm than it does good. The media does more harm than it does good. And if you look at the reoccurring theme that's always on the news, it seems to be more negative information than positive, right? I mean, for every 10 negative stories, they might have one positive one. But we still fucking allow it to pollute our consciousness. And half of those individuals that are preaching this Black Lives Matter shit either are looking for attention or car's coming past. I don't know if you can hear me. Either are looking for attention. Not only are they looking for attention, but they really have no fucking clue on how this world works. Have no idea. They have no idea that if everybody just glued their mouth shut and no one said anything, right? The thoughts that we have in our mind, whether they're expressed or not, if those thoughts are creating emotions, which are creating a feeling, which is creating our state of being, is enough to transform this world. So you could sit there and say Black Lives Matter and be like, they do. And I'm not racist because I have 5 friends that are black. Fuck with me. Be conscious of those people as well. But what I'm saying is half of the individuals that watch the news, that preach all this, stand up type shit, don't even understand how the world works, how the universe works. Not knowing that our thoughts are all connected, whether we express them or not. So if you're watching a video of Black Lives Matter and you're black and You say, you stand for equality, but deep down in your heart, there's some resentment towards people outside your race that's still showing up in the collective consciousness. You don't have to verbally, emotionally, you don't have to express it in any way outside your external environment. Just you feeling that way, you thinking that way, is transforming this world. And there's so many people, I've known so many white people that would, say, fuck this person, fuck that person, fuck this race, fuck that race. And then go out and be the same ones hanging out with it. You know what I mean? Two-face. And it's not just one race doing it. And I hate the word race. I hate the word religion. I hate the word anything that separates us. I hate it. I hate it. And that's all this is doing, is separating us. That's all it's doing. Every time you preach that shit, you're just confirming what they want to separate us all. Like social distancing. There you go again. United we stand, divided we fall. Let me say that again. United we stand, divided we fall. And what the fuck are we allowing them to do? Do you think it's a coincidence? Hell no. Do you think this Black Lives Matter thing is bringing us all together? No, it's not. I'm sorry, but there's some people out there that have some unhealthy conditioning in their mind where they were told by their family, by their culture, that they're supreme over this. And however they were conditioned with inequality in their fucking DNA, in their mind. No, I don't even want to say in DNA. That was false, but it possibly was. No, I that came out, and that was supposed to be. It was in their DNA, because you guys don't understand that this is some ancestral healing that is going on within us. Like you sit there and stereotype a black person and say, oh, they're all fucking gangbangers, they're all drug dealers, they all go to prison, and they're all worthless, right? That is a stereotype. And that stereotype came from your guys' ancestral freaking cycles, the curses, whether you want to call them curses, hexes, demons, fucking bad beliefs. They're all one and the same. They just got a new word to identify them along the way. They're all the same. So all that is a stereotype. That's all it is. And none of it's true. White people go to jail. Indians go to jail. I've been to prison 3 times. I've seen every race in there. Every race. So for us to sit there and say, yeah, like predominantly you get a certain culture, a certain race in a neighborhood, and then they're starved to death, and they put fucking gun stores and liquor stores all within their vicinity, and they're just fed a whole bunch of self-limiting beliefs, and they see it with their own eyes. What do you expect to happen? You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. You are the 5. So if you get a group of people that have a state of mind and they're all together, then it's just going to fucking get aggravated and it's going to spread, and that's all it is. But all this is, like the hoods and the ghettos, that's just some ancestral healing that needs to happen. And there ain't no wrong. There ain't no one wrong for that. We're victims of our environment. I grew up in the fucking hood my whole life. But you wanted to stereotype and say, oh, long, white-haired, fucking blue-eyed white man, or... I'm sorry, baby. I've been there. I fucking was a drug addict. I was a criminal. Shit, I hung out with the best of them, and I hang out with the worst of them. Shit, you can call me Jesus if you would like that. But no, I'm not him. But that I am. And that's what you don't understand is, like, be mindful of your state of mind. Be mindful that maybe you clicked on this video because you knew it was going to offend you, or you thought that it was going to offend you. Be mindful of that. So, and then you would have to ask, how often throughout your day do you look for reasons to be offended? Secondly, be mindful, which it just escaped my consciousness. Be mindful of the story that you create for others. Meaning, you see a black guy and he's got a big fucking blinged out necklace with his pants around his ass, he got some Jordans on. And be mindful of that fucking story you create for that individual. Because that could be the most loving individual that you ever fucking met. But he only knows that which he is, or his environment, what he's exposed to. And that's what he sees, and that's what he resonates with. But what in his heart is completely different. And half of these individuals that you think are good, fucking loving, kind individuals with God in their heart, they don't really give a fuck. They just want all eyes on me. I mean, you could take fucking Reverend Jesse Jackson as like the epitome of that. You know? And if any of y'all from Chicago, y'all know. Wherever there's some fucking racial fucking tension, you'll see his face. And that's none of my business, but I'm just saying what I see. And these are just my ideas. That's all they are. And if you want to go around getting offended by other people's ideas because they don't resonate with yours, you're going to fucking have a miserable life on this planet. Because that's the fucking thing that makes this whole thing work. Is that we all have different beliefs, we all come from different backgrounds, and we all have a different understanding of how we should live our lives. No one's wrong for that. No one's wrong for that. But one thing I have to say is, you know, you're not responsible for the way your parents raised you, for the beliefs that they embedded in you, for your social conditioning, for your cultural conditioning, for your religious conditioning. You're not responsible for that, but you are responsible to adjust it so it works accordingly to the way you want your life to go. Because if you're constantly getting in arguments with individuals about politics and religion and this, and you just hate when your beliefs don't align with another individual's and you let it ruin your day and all these things, be mindful of them. Because they're not you. They're not you. You thought they were. And that's like goes into like half of the people, like 98% of the individuals that watch the news have no idea how this world works. They have no idea that they're not their thoughts. The people of this planet, 98% of them have no idea that they are not the thoughts that run through their mind. And that's sad. And you know how much different this world would be if we all knew that we are not our thoughts? Wow. Imagine how much shit could be undone with just embodying that belief. Wow, I'm not my thoughts. So when I walk into a room and I'm the only person in my culture, in my race, then thoughts in my head that they're all talking about me, that they're all looking at me, they're all pointing the finger at me, they all fucking think that I'm a piece of shit. Wow, that's a lie. That ain't even real. That's something in my head. That's something that I created because all I know is my past. That's all you know. All you know is your past. And everything that comes up in your future, you look at it through the lens of your past. And that ain't in service to you. Not one bit. Not one fucking bit. So I ain't really got much else to say except, yeah, Black Lives Matter. I agree. All lives fucking matter. But what really matters most is fucking people taking responsibility for the way they feel, for the shit that triggers them. Because guess what? That person that called you that racial slur, that called you that bitch, that called you that punk, that called you that fag, that shit had nothing to do with you until you fucking made it something to do with you by getting offended. You know? It had nothing to do with you. You know? If you walked up to a lion and called it a zebra and it understood you, it would just look at you stupid like that makes no sense to me. I'm a lion, I'm not a zebra. Please, like, explain what you mean to me, what you're trying to say to me, because it just don't make sense. So if someone walks up and calls you a bitch or a fucking punk and you get offended, that means you have a deep-seated belief that you're a bitch and you're a punk. You have those quality traits within you. Because if you didn't, then you wouldn't respond the way you did. You know what I mean? So, you thinking you're a man or you're tough as fuck because you punched a guy in the face because he called you a bitch, you just pretty much confirmed that you're a bitch by doing that. You're like, wow, he called me, he found out what he was, and I don't appreciate that. I'm gonna go assault him. God, humans, we're funny, man. You gotta, like, this is a joke. Like, we're fucking really comical the way we live our lives. It's fucking sad, but it's funny at the same time. So be mindful that you might have clicked on this video because you thought you were going to be offended, and you might have walked out with some valuable information that possibly could have changed your life if you let it soak in. And then be mindful of the story that you're creating of who you think I am based off my appearance. Because this shit right here going on right here, this shit's not even real. This ain't even real. But I have to wear this thing in order to navigate through this thing we call the world. But it's not real. It's not real. But what is real is the love that's in your heart. And it's the only thing that's true. And everything else is an illusion. Meaning the hate that you project on somebody else it was a lie. It was something that you believed to be true, so you responded to it or you reacted to it. But it wasn't. So every time you look at an individual and there's judgment, just know that it ain't true. And say, wow, I think of a lot of bullshit throughout the day that ain't even true. And it's really affecting my life. And today, I'm going to take a stand against myself, my mind. And I'm going to actually question every thought that comes through my fucking mind. And say, is that a thought of God? Or is that a fucking thought of my fucking social conditioning? And if you start doing that, man, you'll see it all matters. Love yourself.